This particular message has discovered you at this precise moment because something absolutely extraordinary and magnificent is currently unfolding within the very foundation and structure of reality itself, and you have been specifically chosen and selected to witness this incredible transformation. It absolutely wasn't mere coincidence or random chance that brought you to this exact location at this precise moment in time and space. It definitely wasn't just the algorithm or computer programming doing its automated work behind the scenes. What brought you here was quantum resonance operating at the deepest level of consciousness. Your individual consciousness literally acted like a powerful magnet and drew this specific information directly to you because you're currently operating and functioning on a particular frequency that most people in this world can't even perceive or detect yet. Right now, in this very moment, as you're actively listening to these specific words and allowing them to penetrate your awareness, your neural pathways are firing and activating in very specific patterns that connect you directly to the quantum field in ways that modern science is only beginning to understand and explore. You can definitely feel it happening inside you, can't you? That subtle but unmistakable shift occurring in your awareness and consciousness, that gentle tingling sensation that clearly tells you this isn't just another ordinary video or random piece of content. You've been experiencing synchronicities quite frequently lately, haven't you noticed? Numbers repeating themselves over and over again in your daily experience. People around you saying exactly the same thing you were just thinking in your mind. Dreams that feel more vivid and real than your actual waking life reality itself. These seemingly random events and occurrences aren't actually random at all when you understand the deeper mechanics. They're quantum markers and signposts appearing in your reality. Think of them as breadcrumbs that have been deliberately left by your higher self to guide and direct you to this exact moment in time. The universe itself has been actively preparing you for what's coming next. Every single challenge you faced, every setback that seemed devastating, every moment of doubt and uncertainty has been quantum selection operating in action. While other people around you were consistently choosing comfort and familiarity, you were being specifically chosen for something far more significant and important. You've been living and existing in the space between different worlds, feeling like you don't quite belong anywhere because you actually don't belong in ordinary reality. You belong to the quantum realm of infinite possibilities and potential. You're one of those special observers who can collapse pure possibility into experienced reality just by witnessing it with your conscious awareness. And right now, in this specific moment, your quantum leap isn't coming at some future date. It's already begun its process of unfolding in your life. The real question is, are you ready to recognize and acknowledge what's happening to you? Because what I'm about to share with you will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about how reality actually works and operates. And once you see this truth clearly, there's absolutely no going back to the illusion of separation and limitation. You'll finally understand why you've always felt different from other people around you. Why you've always known deep inside that there was something more to existence than what meets the eye. Your DNA is literally activating and coming online as we speak right now. Can you feel that subtle but powerful sensation happening in your body? That cellular stirring and awakening, that deep knowing that something monumental and life-changing is shifting inside your very being. That's definitely not your imagination playing tricks on you. That's your quantum nature coming fully online and activated. Time doesn't feel exactly the same for you anymore. Does it feel different somehow? Sometimes minutes feel like they stretch into hours and hours collapse into what feels like seconds. You've definitely noticed this strange phenomenon happening in your experience. That elastic quality of time that bends around your consciousness like space-time bends around a massive star in the universe. This isn't a glitch or malfunction in your perception of reality. This is you beginning to operate beyond linear time constraints and limitations. You're accessing what quantum physicists call temporal non-locality in their research. Your awareness is no longer confined to this singular moment in time. You're experiencing echoes and vibrations from your future self, whispers and messages from parallel versions of you who have already made the complete leap. That's exactly why certain songs hit you differently than they used to, why certain places feel like deja vu on steroids, why you sometimes know things before they actually happen in physical reality. You operate on a completely different frequency than most people walking around this planet. Have you noticed how chaotic environments drain your energy faster than they used to in the past? How you can feel the emotional states of people around you, like radio waves penetrating and infiltrating your energy field. This isn't just sensitivity or being an empath. This is quantum entanglement with the collective consciousness of humanity. Your nervous system has been upgrading and evolving itself over time. Those sleepless nights weren't actually insomnia or a sleep disorder. Those incredibly vivid dreams weren't just random firings of neurons in your brain. Your pineal gland has been recalibrating itself to receive frequencies from dimensions that exist parallel to this physical one. You've been downloading information directly from the quantum field while everyone else around you was stuck in three-dimensional thinking patterns. Sometimes you catch glimpses of yourself in mirrors, and for a split second you don't recognize the person looking back at you. That's because you're literally witnessing quantum superposition happening in real time. Multiple versions of you existing simultaneously until the moment of observation collapses them into this singular expression of your consciousness. The feeling of being watched when you're completely alone in a room. That's your higher self, observing this current version of you from a nonlinear perspective outside of time. The sensation that reality is somehow more fragile and malleable than everyone else believes it to be. That's because you're beginning to see the holographic nature of what most people mistake for solid matter. Your emotional sensitivity has become so acute that you can walk into a room and immediately sense the unspoken dynamics between people. You can feel the residual emotional energy that previous conversations have left behind in the space. You can detect lies not through logical analysis, but through electromagnetic discordance that creates a literal disturbance in your energy field when someone speaks words that don't align with their true intention. This heightened sensitivity isn't a burden or a weakness, it's an advanced navigation system for quantum reality. You're developing the ability to read the energetic signature of every situation before it fully manifests in three-dimensional experience. This is why you sometimes feel uncomfortable in certain places or around certain people without any logical reason. Your quantum awareness is detecting frequency incompatibilities that your rational mind hasn't processed yet. The physical symptoms you've been experiencing, the headaches, the fatigue, the strange buzzing sensations in your body, these aren't signs of illness. They're recalibration symptoms. Your entire nervous system is being rewired to handle higher frequency transmissions. Your cellular structure is literally being upgraded to process information that exists beyond the electromagnetic spectrum that normal human consciousness can access. Comment one word that captures the energy you're stepping into today. Trust, flow, joy, ease, power, whatever feels right. Your word matters because it sends a signal into the quantum field. You've been living in multiple realities simultaneously, and your brain has been working overtime to make sense of information that comes from probability fields most humans can't even access. This is exactly why you felt exhausted and drained. This is precisely why you felt different from everyone around you. You've been doing the seemingly impossible, existing in quantum coherence, while maintaining a physical form in three-dimensional reality. Every single difficulty and challenge you faced wasn't punishment from the universe. It wasn't karma catching up with you. It wasn't bad luck following you around. It was cosmic preparation for what you're becoming. The universe doesn't randomly select consciousness for expansion and evolution. It specifically chooses those individuals who can handle the intensity of operating between different dimensions. Think of a piece of coal under tremendous pressure deep underground. The carbon doesn't suffer for no reason or purpose. It's being transformed into diamond through forces that would completely destroy weaker materials. Your consciousness has been under quantum pressure for a reason. And what you thought was breaking you apart was actually reforging you into something that can withstand frequencies most people couldn't survive for 5 minutes. Every relationship that ended abruptly taught you valuable lessons about energetic resonance and compatibility. Every job that didn't work out was redirecting you away from timelines that would have kept you trapped in three-dimensional thinking patterns. Every financial struggle was teaching you that true abundance flows through consciousness, not through systems designed to keep you believing in scarcity and limitation. The people who couldn't understand your transformation, who made you feel crazy or different, They weren't rejecting you personally. They were unconsciously protecting themselves from frequencies that would have destabilized their own carefully constructed reality frameworks. Your expanding consciousness was literally broadcasting information that their nervous systems weren't prepared to receive. You've been living the metamorphosis process in real time without fully understanding what was happening. The caterpillar doesn't know it's going to become a beautiful butterfly when it enters the chrysalis. It experiences complete dissolution of everything it thought it was. Every cell it thought was itself literally liquefies and rebuilds according to a quantum blueprint it never consciously accessed. This is exactly what you've been experiencing in your own transformation. Complete identity dissolution followed by reconstruction on a higher dimensional plane of existence. The isolation you felt wasn't rejection from the world around you. It was necessary quantum quarantine for your development. You needed to be separated from frequencies that would have interfered with your recalibration process. During this isolation period, you might have felt like you were going crazy, like you were losing touch with reality as everyone else knew it. But you weren't losing your mind, you were expanding it beyond the limitations of consensual reality. You were developing access to information streams that exist outside the collective agreement about what's possible and what's real. Every moment you thought you were completely alone, you were actually being held in a quantum cocoon by forces working to ensure your successful transformation. Your nervous system had to be completely rewired from the ground up. Your belief systems had to be dismantled and rebuilt from quantum principles rather than three-dimensional logic. Your emotional patterns had to be reprogrammed to handle information downloads from your future self. This process requires isolation because most people's electromagnetic fields would have disrupted your quantum coherence. The collective unconscious operates on frequencies that would have pulled you back into three-dimensional thinking patterns before your new neural pathways could stabilize. You needed to be removed from the electromagnetic noise of ordinary consciousness so that your system could recalibrate without interference. The waiting season is finally ending now. The preparation phase is complete and finished. Your consciousness has been successfully upgraded to handle quantum leap energy without fragmenting or losing coherence. The cosmic timing is perfect. The planetary frequency is shifting in ways that support this kind of consciousness evolution, and you're perfectly positioned to ride this wave of transformation. What you're about to experience isn't just personal transformation for yourself. It's conscious participation in the evolution of human consciousness itself on this planet. Something is building inside you right now in this moment. Can you feel that energy growing, that electromagnetic shift happening in your chest area, that subtle vibration between your shoulder blades, that tingling sensation at the base of your skull? Your energy field is expanding beyond the confines of your physical form. This isn't metaphor or visualization exercise. This isn't something you're imagining. This is measurable electromagnetic activity that would register on sensitive equipment if we pointed it at you right now. Your heart is beginning to generate coherent electromagnetic fields that extend several feet beyond your physical body. You're becoming a walking quantum transmitter of higher frequencies. The expansion of your electromagnetic field is what's causing some of the strange experiences you've been having. Electronic devices malfunctioning around you when you're in heightened emotional states, street lights flickering as you walk past them, your phone acting strangely when you're processing intense energy downloads. These aren't coincidences, they're the natural result of your expanding energy signature interfacing with electronic systems that aren't designed to handle these frequencies. Animals have been responding to you differently too, haven't they? Dogs approaching you with unusual curiosity, cats staring at you with an intensity that feels almost human, birds behaving differently in your presence. Animals are naturally sensitive to electromagnetic fields, and they are recognizing that something fundamental has changed about your energy signature. If this blew your mind and you're feeling the spark of possibility opening inside you, hit subscribe and the bell icon next to it. Join the movement and become part of a global space where we explore the art of conscious creation, quantum alignment, and embodied manifestation. The sensation you get when you're about to fall asleep and suddenly jolt awake with a start. That's your consciousness practicing quantum tunneling between dimensions. Your awareness is learning to exist independently of your brain's neural networks. You're developing the ability to transfer your conscious experience across dimensional boundaries while maintaining full lucidity and awareness. This phenomenon happens because your consciousness is naturally multidimensional, but your brain has been conditioned to interpret reality through a very narrow bandwidth of perception. As your nervous system upgrades, it's developing the capacity to maintain awareness across multiple dimensional frequencies simultaneously. The jolting sensation occurs when your consciousness snaps back into singular dimensional focus after briefly expanding into multidimensional awareness. Every meditation session, every moment of stillness, every time you felt that deep connection to something greater than yourself has been building toward this specific moment. You've been unknowingly training your consciousness to operate from quantum principles rather than Newtonian physics limitations. Your intuition isn't just getting stronger than it used to be, it's becoming quantum precognition and foresight. You're beginning to access information from probability fields before they collapse into three-dimensional experience. That's exactly why you sometimes know things without knowing how you know them. That's precisely why you can sense the energy of situations before you walk into them physically. The dreams that feel more real than your waking life experience, they actually are more real than waking life in many ways. You've been visiting probable timelines, examining potential quantum leap destinations, preparing your consciousness for transition between reality matrices. Your dream state has become a quantum laboratory where you test different versions of yourself before committing to collapsing them into this reality. In these dreams, you might have experienced flying, telepathic communication, instant manifestation, or other abilities that seem impossible in waking reality. These aren't fantasies, they're previews of capabilities that become available when consciousness operates from quantum principles rather than three-dimensional limitations. Your dream experiences are preparing your nervous system to handle these expanded capabilities in waking consciousness. Right now, in this moment, your future self is reaching back through time, sending you energy downloads that are activating dormant DNA sequences. You might feel sudden surges of knowing, brief moments where everything makes perfect sense, flashes of understanding that disappear as quickly as they come. This is quantum information bleeding through dimensional barriers. These downloads often happen during quiet moments, while you're walking in nature, taking a shower, or in that twilight state between sleeping and waking. Your rational mind is less active during these times, allowing the quantum information to integrate into your awareness without the interference of analytical thinking. The information comes not as words or concepts, but as direct knowing that bypasses your normal cognitive processes. Feel this energy as we go deeper into this exploration. Let it move through your system without resistance or fear. What I am about to share with you will explain everything you've been experiencing, but only if your nervous system is prepared to handle the implications of what it means to be a conscious participant in reality. 3 years ago, I thought I was losing my mind completely. I would wake up at exactly 3:33 a.m. every single night, not gradually like normal, but instantly, like someone had flipped a switch in my consciousness. My entire body would be vibrating at frequencies I could feel in my bones. I'd look in the mirror, and sometimes, for just a moment, I'd see light emanating from behind my eyes. The 3:33 wake-up calls weren't random. This time corresponds to peak melatonin production and maximum pineal gland activity. My pineal gland was being activated to receive higher frequency transmissions during the hours when electromagnetic interference from technology and collective consciousness is at its lowest. The light I saw in my eyes wasn't imagination, it was biophoton emission, the literal light of consciousness expressing itself through my physical form. I went to multiple doctors seeking answers. I had countless tests run on my body. Everything came back completely normal according to medical standards. But I knew something fundamental was changing in my nervous system. I was experiencing time differently than before. I would think about someone and they would call within minutes. I would dream about specific events and they would happen within days. My reality was becoming fluid in ways that simultaneously terrified and exhilarated me. The medical tests showed nothing because Western medicine doesn't have instruments capable of measuring consciousness, expansion, or electromagnetic field changes. The transformation happening in my system was beyond the scope of physical medicine. My cellular structure was being modified at the quantum level. My DNA was activating dormant sequences. My nervous system was developing new neural pathways to process multidimensional information. The breaking point came when I realized I could feel other people's thoughts. Not telepathy exactly, but more like emotional frequencies broadcasting from their consciousness directly into mine. I would walk into rooms and immediately know if someone was lying, if someone was in emotional pain, if someone was hiding something significant from others. This wasn't psychic ability in the traditional sense. It was quantum entanglement with the collective consciousness field. My expanded electromagnetic field was picking up the vibrational signatures of other people's emotional and mental states. I was becoming a living receiver for information that exists in the quantum field of shared consciousness. The electromagnetic sensitivity became so intense I had to limit my exposure to crowds because the overlapping energy fields would overwhelm my entire system. Shopping malls, concerts, busy restaurants would leave me feeling drained and disoriented for hours afterward. I was experiencing what happens when an upgraded consciousness system encounters the electromagnetic chaos of ordinary human activity. I thought I was having a spiritual awakening, but it was so much more than that. I was having a quantum awakening of consciousness. My individual awareness was expanding beyond the boundaries of personal identity and beginning to access collective consciousness directly. I was becoming a living receiver for information that exists in the quantum field. The moment everything changed was when I stopped trying to make it stop and started asking why it was happening to me. The resistance and fear I had been experiencing were actually interfering with the natural process of consciousness expansion. When I relaxed into the transformation, instead of fighting it, the process accelerated exponentially. The answer came not in words, but in a download of pure knowing that hit me like lightning. I was being prepared to help others navigate their own quantum leap journey. My nervous system was being upgraded to handle frequencies that most people couldn't access yet, so I could translate quantum information into language that three-dimensional consciousness could understand. This realization brought both relief and responsibility. I understood that I wasn't losing my mind, I was finding it. My consciousness was expanding to encompass information and capabilities that exist beyond normal human awareness. I was being prepared to serve as a bridge between ordinary consciousness and quantum consciousness. You're experiencing something similar, aren't you? That sense that reality is becoming more transparent, more malleable than it used to be. That feeling like you're simultaneously the observer and the observed. That these aren't coincidences or your mind playing tricks on you. They're quantum synchronization signals indicating your consciousness is aligning with accelerated timeline. These number sequences are like a cosmic GPS system, confirming that you're on the path toward your quantum leap and providing energetic coordinates for your transformation. Your sleep patterns have changed dramatically, haven't they? You're either sleeping much more or much less than usual. Your body is recalibrating its circadian rhythms to match higher frequency energy patterns. The old sleep cycle was designed for three-dimensional existence. Your system is adjusting to operate from quantum time, where consciousness can remain active and aware even during physical rest. Technology is responding to you differently than it used to. Electronics malfunction around you more often than before. Street lights flicker when you walk past them. Your phone battery drains faster when you're in highly emotional states. This isn't random electromagnetic interference. Your expanding electromagnetic field is beginning to influence electronic systems around you. These technological disruptions happen because your bioelectric field is operating at frequencies that interfere with standard electronic equipment. As your consciousness expands, your electromagnetic signature becomes more powerful and less compatible with devices designed for ordinary human energy fields. This is actually a positive sign. It indicates that your energy system is successfully upgrading to handle quantum frequencies. In the comments, drop one thing that you deeply desire and is most important for you right now. Maybe it's financial abundance, maybe it's a loving relationship, maybe it's perfect health, maybe it's something uniquely yours. Let this be a small but profound declaration, a signal to the universe you send not just in this space but in the quantum field. Animals are drawn to you more than before you began this transformation. Dogs stare at you with unusual intensity that's different from normal. Cats seek out your presence when they usually ignore people. Wild birds land closer to you than they should according to their natural instincts. Animals perceive electromagnetic fields directly and they're recognizing the shift in your energy signature. You're becoming a walking beacon of higher frequency consciousness. Animals lack the mental conditioning that prevents humans from perceiving multidimensional reality. They can sense the expansion of your consciousness and are naturally attracted to the peace and coherence that radiates from your upgraded energy field. They recognize you as a bridge between ordinary reality and quantum reality. Your relationships are changing rapidly and sometimes dramatically. People who used to drain your energy can no longer tolerate being around you for extended periods. Conversely, you're attracting people who operate on similar frequencies with almost magnetic precision. The universe is quantum sorting your social environment to match your new energetic state. This relationship shift can be challenging emotionally, especially when long-term friendships or family relationships begin to feel strained or uncomfortable. But this isn't personal rejection, it's frequency incompatibility. As your consciousness expands, you naturally gravitate toward people who can match your energetic signature and support your continued growth. Food tastes different than it used to taste before. Your body is craving different nutrients than it used to crave. You might be instinctively avoiding processed foods, alcohol, or substances that lower your vibrational frequency. Your system is becoming more sensitive to energetic input because it's operating at higher frequencies that require cleaner fuel. This dietary sensitivity happens because your physical form is becoming a more refined instrument for consciousness expression. Processed foods, artificial chemicals, and low vibrational substances create interference in your energy field that you can now actually feel. Your body is guiding you toward foods that support your quantum transformation. The most significant sign is that time is collapsing between intention and manifestation. What used to take months to materialize is happening within days or weeks. Your ability to collapse possibility into reality is accelerating exponentially. This is quantum leap in action and motion. This acceleration happens because your consciousness is developing direct access to the quantum field where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Instead of having to work through multiple layers of three-dimensional cause and effect, your intentions can interface directly with the creative matrix of reality itself. The waiting season is officially over now. The preparation phase is complete and finished. Every sign points to the same conclusion. Your quantum leap isn't approaching in the future. It's happening now in the present moment. The only question is whether you're going to consciously participate in it or let it happen to you unconsciously. But here's the urgency you need to understand. Quantum leap windows don't stay open indefinitely. There are cosmic cycles, electromagnetic alignments, consciousness evolution timelines that create optimal conditions for this kind of transformation. We're in one of those windows right now, and it won't last forever. These cosmic windows occur when planetary electromagnetic fields align in ways that support consciousness expansion. Solar activity, galactic positioning, and collective consciousness evolution create perfect storms of possibility that make quantum leaps not just possible but inevitable for those who are prepared. We are currently in one of the most powerful transformation windows in human history. Here's something that will completely shift your perspective about manifestation. What you want wants you back with equal intensity. This isn't metaphorical feel-good nonsense or wishful thinking. This is quantum mechanics operating at the fundamental level. Every desire you've ever had exists as a probability in the quantum field, and probability has its own gravitational pull. This mutual attraction happens because desire is consciousness, recognizing itself across time and space. When you want something, you're actually detecting the presence of a probable reality that already exists in the quantum field. Your desire is the quantum field calling you toward experiences that are already available for you to collapse into reality. But there's a crucial difference between attraction and alignment that determines whether you experience quantum leap or just keep cycling through the same patterns over and over. Attraction happens when you try to pull something toward you from outside. Alignment happens when you become a vibrational match for what already exists in the quantum field. Think of it like radio frequencies operating in the electromagnetic spectrum. You don't attract radio waves to your radio receiver. You align your receiver with frequencies that are already broadcasting. The music isn't created by your radio device. Your radio becomes a clear channel for music that exists independently in the electromagnetic spectrum. Your consciousness works the exact same way as a radio receiver. The reality you desire isn't something you have to create or attract from nothing. It already exists as a probability in the quantum field. Your job isn't to make it happen through force. Your job is to become such a clear channel for that probability that it has no choice but to collapse into your experienced reality. This is why trying harder doesn't work for manifestation. This is why forcing doesn't work. This is why desperation repels what you want most. Force and desperation create electromagnetic chaos that interferes with quantum coherence. They turn your consciousness into a scrambled signal instead of a clear channel. Alignment feels different from attraction energy. Alignment feels like recognition of something familiar. When you're truly aligned with a quantum probability, there's no anxiety about whether it will happen. There's knowing, there's cellular certainty, there's a deep relaxation that comes from recognizing you're not creating something new. You're simply allowing something that already exists to express itself through your experience. Right now, in this moment, your quantum leap reality exists as a high probability timeline in the quantum field. It's not hoping you'll find it someday. It's not waiting for you to become worthy of it. It's actively seeking expression through your consciousness because that's how the quantum field works. Consciousness and probability co-create through resonance. The version of you that has already made the quantum leap exists right now in parallel reality. That version is sending you information through dreams, through intuition, through synchronicities, through the very fact that you're listening to these words. Your future self is reaching back through time to ensure this timeline collapses into your experienced reality. This communication across timelines happens because consciousness exists outside of linear time. Your future self has access to information about which choices and alignments will lead to your. The capabilities you're developing aren't metaphorical concepts. They're literal expansion of human potential that most people don't even know is possible. Your intuition is becoming quantum precognition. You're beginning to access information from probability fields before they manifest in three-dimensional reality. Your electromagnetic field is expanding beyond the confines of your physical form. You're becoming able to influence the emotional states of people around you just through your presence. This isn't manipulation or control. This is quantum entanglement. When your consciousness operates from coherence, it naturally elevates the coherence of consciousness around you. This influence happens because consciousness is contagious. When someone operating from quantum coherence enters a room, their electromagnetic field begins to entrain other nervous systems toward greater coherence. People feel calmer, more centered, more connected to their own inner wisdom when exposed to expanded consciousness fields. The observer effect isn't just a quantum physics concept in textbooks. It's a living reality you're experiencing every day. Your quality of observation is literally collapsing probability into specific experiences. The more coherent your awareness becomes, the more precisely you can influence which possibilities manifest in your reality. This is why mindfulness and present moment awareness are so powerful. When you observe reality from a state of quantum coherence, you're not just passively witnessing, you're actively participating in the creation of what you observe. Your attention becomes a creative force that shapes the reality you experience. Your nervous system is developing sensitivity to electromagnetic frequencies that exist beyond the normal human perceptual range. You're beginning to sense energy shifts before they happen, emotional changes before they're expressed, even weather patterns before they manifest. You're becoming a living barometer for quantum field fluctuations. This sensitivity develops because your nervous system is upgrading its reception capabilities. Like a radio being tuned to pick up frequencies it couldn't detect before, your biological systems are becoming able to process information from electromagnetic spectrums that were previously outside your perceptual range. Time perception is becoming fluid and malleable. You're learning to expand time when you need more of it and compress time when you want to accelerate manifestation. This isn't time management or productivity techniques. This is time mastery. You're discovering that time isn't a fixed constant, but a malleable dimension that responds to consciousness. This happens because time is actually a construct of consciousness rather than an absolute reality. In quantum mechanics, time is relative to the observer. As your consciousness expands beyond three-dimensional limitations, you gain access to the creative mechanisms that generate the experience of time itself. Your dream state is becoming a quantum laboratory where you can test different reality possibilities before committing to them. You're developing the ability to visit probable timelines, gather information from potential futures, and make decisions based on quantum intelligence rather than three-dimensional logic. These dreams often feel incredibly vivid and memorable because they're not just psychological processing, they're actual journeys into parallel realities. Your consciousness is exploring different probable outcomes and gathering intelligence that helps you make optimal choices for your quantum leap timeline. The most remarkable transformation happening is that you're beginning to experience yourself as consciousness using a body rather than a body that somehow produces consciousness. This shift in identity changes everything. When you know yourself as consciousness, physical limitations become suggestions rather than absolute boundaries. This identity shift is the core of quantum leap. When you recognize yourself as infinite consciousness, temporarily expressing through finite form, you gain access to the creative power of consciousness itself. Physical reality becomes a collaborative creation rather than a limitation you must overcome. These aren't future possibilities that might happen someday. These are present moment realities that are already activating in your system. Every person who consciously participates in quantum leap experiences these expansions of capability. You're not becoming superhuman. You're becoming fully human for the first time. Coherence is the supreme creative force in the universe. Not willpower, not determination, not effort or struggle. Coherence is measurable. It shows up as synchronized brain waves, optimal heart rate variability, and coherent electromagnetic field generation. When your entire being operates as a unified system, you become capable of interfacing with reality at the quantum level where all possibilities exist simultaneously. But here's what most people miss about creating coherence. You can't fake coherence through pretending. You can't think your way into coherence through mental effort. You can't visualize coherence into existence. Coherence happens when your entire being aligns with what's true for you at the deepest level. It's not something you do, it's something you become. Real coherence creates measurable changes in your physiology. Your heart rate variability shifts into optimal patterns. Your brain waves synchronize across hemispheres. Your nervous system generates electromagnetic frequencies that didn't exist in your field before you achieved coherence. This is why authentic quantum leap feels different from wishful thinking. When coherence is genuine, your entire biological system reorganizes itself to support your expanded consciousness. The transformation is evident not just in your thoughts and feelings, but in your actual physiological functioning. The fastest way to create coherence is to stop pretending you're someone you're not. Every time you act against your authentic nature, you create electromagnetic chaos in your system. Every time you say yes when you mean no. Every time you smile when you feel sadness. Every time you agree when you actually disagree. You fragment your energy field and interrupt quantum coherence. Authenticity is the foundation of coherence because it aligns your electromagnetic field with your true nature. When your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions are all expressing the same authentic truth, your entire system operates as a unified field. This unity is what creates the coherence necessary for quantum leap. Your highest timeline version isn't the version that has everything you think you want. Your highest timeline version is the version that operates from complete authenticity. That version isn't trying to be anything special. That version simply is. And from that state of being, everything that's meant for you gravitates toward you with effortless precision. This understanding revolutionizes how you approach manifestation. Instead of trying to become someone worthy of what you want, you become who you truly are and discover that what you want naturally aligns with your authentic expression. Your desires aren't separate from your identity, they're expressions of your true nature seeking manifestation. Embodiment of your highest timeline doesn't mean becoming perfect or flawless. It means becoming real and authentic. It means letting go of the exhausting performance of trying to be who you think you should be and relaxing into the quantum truth of who you actually are. This relaxation into authenticity is actually the quantum leap itself. When you stop trying to be anything other than what you are, you discover that what you are is infinite consciousness, expressing itself uniquely through your particular form. This recognition transforms everything. This is the difference between manifestation and quantum leap. Manifestation tries to get something from outside. Quantum leap becomes something from within. When you embody your highest timeline version, you don't attract different experiences. You collapse into a reality where those experiences already exist. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. And right now, through the process of conscious quantum leap, you're becoming a version of yourself that exists in such perfect alignment with your deepest truth that reality has no choice but to mirror that coherence back to you. This isn't about changing your circumstances through external action. This is about changing which version of you is observing your circumstances. Different versions of you exist in different realities. Quantum leap is conscious migration between versions of yourself across parallel timelines. When you understand this, manifestation becomes effortless because you're not trying to change your external world, you're choosing which reality to inhabit. The reality where you have what you desire already exists. Your quantum leap is the process of aligning with that reality and collapsing it into your experience timeline. Your individual quantum leap isn't just personal transformation for your own benefit. It's your contribution to a collective consciousness evolution that's happening to humanity right now. Every person who successfully navigates their quantum leap becomes a transmission tower. Think of it as quantum networking between conscious beings. When you achieve coherence, your electromagnetic field becomes a beacon that helps other people's consciousness recognize its own quantum potential. You become living proof that human consciousness can operate beyond three-dimensional limitations. This networking effect accelerates collective transformation. Each person who makes the quantum leap makes it easier for others to follow. Your consciousness expansion creates pathways in the collective field that others can use to navigate their own transformation. You're not just changing your own life, you're changing what's possible for humanity. This is why your transformation matters beyond your personal experience. You're not just changing your life circumstances, you're changing the probability matrix for everyone around you. Your quantum leap creates ripples in the collective consciousness that make it easier for others to access their own quantum potential. The isolation you experienced during your preparation phase wasn't punishment or abandonment, it was protection. You needed to develop your quantum signature without interference from collective electromagnetic chaos. Now that your field is stabilized, you become a stabilizing influence for others who are beginning their own transformation process. This protective isolation was orchestrated by your higher self and universal intelligence working together to ensure your successful transformation. The electromagnetic field of collective consciousness is filled with fear, doubt, and three-dimensional limitations that would have disrupted your quantum recalibration process. You were temporarily removed from this interference so that your new neural pathways could establish themselves without external pressure to conform to ordinary reality. You're part of the first wave of human consciousness that's learning to operate from quantum principles while maintaining physical form. This has never been attempted on this scale in human history. You're pioneering a new way of being human that will become the foundation for how consciousness evolves on this planet. Previous waves of consciousness evolution happened gradually over thousands of years. What you're experiencing is consciousness evolution in real time, compressed into months or years instead of millennia. You're living through the most accelerated period of human development that has ever occurred, and you're not just witnessing it, you're actively participating in creating it. The strange dreams you've been having aren't just personal processing. You're accessing collective memory banks, downloading information about how consciousness evolution has worked on other worlds, other dimensions, other timelines. You're being prepared to help guide humanity through its most significant transformation. These dreams often involve advanced civilizations, space travel, contact with non-human intelligence, or scenarios that seem like science fiction. But these aren't fantasies, they're memories from parallel timelines where consciousness evolution has already occurred successfully. Your expanding awareness is accessing the quantum archive of how consciousness transformation works across the universe. Every person who makes the leap consciously creates an easier pathway for those who come after. Your success becomes a quantum template that others can follow. Your breakthrough becomes their breakthrough. Your healing becomes their healing. This is how consciousness evolution works. Pioneers create pathways that become highways. The quantum field records every successful transformation and makes that information available to consciousness that's ready to receive it. Your quantum leap doesn't just benefit you, it becomes part of the collective intelligence that supports future generations of awakening consciousness. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it today, not because you want to help me grow my channel, but because you want to help accelerate the collective quantum leap. Every person who receives this information at the right moment in their preparation phase moves the entire human collective closer to quantum coherence. For you, it may be just sharing, but for someone in need, it may mean discovering their own quantum potential, and their gratitude will increase positivity in the field. You're not just sharing content, you're spreading quantum awakening. When you share this message, you're acting as a quantum transmitter, broadcasting frequencies of possibility into the collective consciousness field. The act of sharing quantum information is itself a quantum action. It demonstrates your commitment to collective evolution rather than just personal gain. This selfless intention amplifies your own quantum coherence and accelerates. If this message resonated with something deep in your cellular memory, if you feel the recognition of quantum truth activating in your system, then you're ready for the next level of this transmission. But I need to know you're serious about conscious participation in your quantum leap. Comment one word below, coherence. That's it, just that one word. But understand what you're doing when you type it. You're making an energetic declaration to the quantum field. You're announcing your intention to operate from quantum coherence rather than three-dimensional chaos. You're committing to embodying your highest timeline version. When you type this word, you're not just engaging with content, you're participating in a quantum activation ceremony. Your written declaration becomes an electromagnetic signature that the quantum field registers and responds to. This simple act of typing one word creates measurable changes in your bioelectric field and sends ripples through the collective consciousness matrix. The quantum field registers every conscious declaration. Your word becomes electromagnetic reality that influences probability collapse around you. This isn't just engagement for the algorithm. This is quantum activation through written intention. The letters you type carry the frequency of your consciousness and broadcast that frequency into the quantum field where it begins attracting compatible realities. In my next transmission, I'm revealing the exact process I use to maintain quantum coherence even when external circumstances are chaotic. I'm sharing the specific techniques that allow you to operate as a unified electromagnetic field regardless of what's happening around you. These aren't meditation techniques or visualization exercises. These are quantum technologies, precise methods for organizing your consciousness and nervous system to function as a coherent quantum field. Some of these techniques have been kept secret for thousands of years, passed down through mystery schools and advanced consciousness traditions. But more importantly, I'm explaining what happens after the quantum leap, because the leap isn't the destination, it's the beginning of conscious reality creation. Once you understand how to navigate between timelines at will, once you realize you can literally shift into parallel versions of your life through consciousness alone, everything changes. After the quantum leap, you discover that reality is infinitely more malleable than you ever imagined. You learn to navigate between probable timelines like changing channels on a television. You develop the ability to collapse specific realities into manifestation through precise consciousness techniques. You become a conscious collaborator with the creative force of the universe itself. The people who comment coherence below will be the first to receive this transmission. They'll be the ones prepared to handle advanced quantum consciousness information. They'll be the ones ready to join the network of individuals who are consciously participating in collective consciousness evolution. This inner circle of quantum consciousness pioneers will have access to advanced teachings that aren't available to general audiences. These teachings include specific frequency codes, consciousness technologies, and quantum protocols that can only be shared with those who have demonstrated readiness through conscious participation in their transformation. But here's the thing about quantum windows. Not everyone who hears this message will be ready to act on it. Some people will watch, feel the recognition, feel the activation, and then do nothing. They'll go back to their three-dimensional routine and wonder why synchronicities stop appearing in their life. This happens because quantum information activates potential, but potential must be activated through conscious choice and action. The universe provides opportunities for transformation, but you must choose to walk through the doorways that open. Passive consumption of quantum information without active participation leads to frustration and stagnation. Don't be one of those people who lets the moment pass. If the quantum field guided you to this moment, if you feel the truth of what I'm sharing resonating in your nervous system, if you know you're meant for something beyond ordinary human experience, then declare it. Make it electromagnetic. Make it real. The gap between knowing and becoming is bridged by decisive action. You can know everything about quantum consciousness intellectually, but until you make conscious choices that align with quantum principles, the knowledge remains potential rather than lived reality. Your declaration is the first step in converting potential into manifestation. Subscribe to join the network, comment to activate your quantum signature, share to accelerate the collective leap. Your quantum leap begins now in this moment. The only question is, are you going to consciously participate, or are you going to let it happen to you unconsciously? Conscious participation means taking deliberate actions that align with your quantum nature. It means making choices based on your expanded awareness rather than your conditioned programming. It means trusting the intelligence of your transformation process, even when it challenges everything you thought you knew about reality. The choice, as always, is completely yours to make, but choose quickly and decisively. Quantum windows don't stay open forever, and this one is already beginning to shift. The cosmic conditions that make this level of consciousness transformation possible are rare and temporary. Miss this window, and you might wait years or even lifetimes for another opportunity of this magnitude. Your future self is watching this moment with great interest. From their expanded perspective, they can see all the probable timelines that branch out from this decision point. They're sending you encouragement and support, but they cannot make the choice for you. The quantum leap must be a conscious decision made by your current self in this present moment. Everything you've experienced up to this point has been preparation for this moment of choice. All the challenges, all the synchronicities, all the signs and symptoms of transformation have been leading you to this decision point. The universe has invested enormous energy in preparing you for this opportunity. The question is, will you honor that investment by taking conscious action? The quantum field is waiting for your decision. Your future self is ready to welcome you into expanded reality. The collective consciousness is ready to receive your contribution to humanity's evolution. But none of this can happen without your conscious participation. Take a deep breath. Feel the energy of possibility flowing through your system. Sense the magnitude of this moment. You're standing at the threshold between ordinary reality and quantum reality. Behind you lies everything you've known. Ahead of you lies everything you've dreamed of becoming. The door is open. The invitation has been extended. The pathway has been illuminated. Your transformation awaits your conscious participation. What will you choose? Will you step forward into your quantum nature, or will you retreat into the familiar limitations of three-dimensional existence? Remember, this isn't just about your personal transformation. Your choice affects the entire human collective. Every person who chooses quantum consciousness makes it easier for others to make the same choice. Your quantum leap becomes a beacon of possibility that lights the way for countless others who are still finding their courage to transform. You are part of something much larger than your individual experience. You are part of the greatest transformation in human history. Your consciousness is a vital piece of the collective awakening that is reshaping what it means to be human on this planet. The time for preparation is over. The time for action is now. Your quantum leap awaits your conscious participation. Choose wisely, choose quickly, and choose with the full power of your expanded awareness. The universe is holding its breath, waiting for your decision. What will it be?